I'm Nate, and I'm going to walk you through this compatibility build, which combines our new Dirt Paths pieces with the rest of our Wildlands Wilderness collection. This combined array of pieces let me build a really cool ambush path and bandit encampment with a few surprises we'll have to see. Let's dive in and take a closer look. All right, so we have a 3-foot by 2-foot build here. It's primarily wilderness pieces with a bunch of our new Dirt Paths pieces in there and some of the dirt road terrain trace. So I'm going to walk through the story first, and then we can go back and sort of see some of the techniques, see the compatibility and the like. So our story is at the local village. Travelers have gone missing on the North Road, right? A merchant cart never showed up. Group of hunters from the town never came back. A lonely traveler. So they send the intrepid adventurers down the pass to find out what's going on. So our intrepid adventuring party enter down here, and they get to travel along this little dirt roads, right? So we go along the road, and eventually they will find a tree fallen across the path. However, astute adventurers will notice that there's no trunk from it, and there's some signs that it was dragged there. And maybe even further quick observation or investigation, they could discover that there's maybe some signs of a scuffle or some old blood stains. Like clearly, trouble is afoot here. It's the classic right, log in the middle of the road kind of bandit ambush. And sure enough, just when they kind of get this information, out of the underbrush, a huge arbalist quarrel will shoot out. It is indeed an ambush. So we have over here an arbalist bolt is going to shoot at them. So there are some bandits laying in wait. So we have a couple of bandits here. We'll pop somebody. So we got somebody with a crossbow here. She's running an arbalist. We got a rogue with some sneak attack hiding behind the bush here. So they have a pretty good little fortified position here with some nice cover. So hopefully a fun combat will ensue. The players could hop the log, come running on in. There's some interesting opportunities. It's a good amount of distance to cover, so hopefully the bandits will get some good range shots in first. There are some options to hop up on the Titan's Tooth, get a kind of a good shot from up here, over yonder. There's interesting combat opportunities here. But once everybody's engaged here, the second part of the ambush will be sprung. So rustle, the move this rose bush pushed aside, and out of the hole pops the fourth bandit. This guy is on the crossbow, can light up, if the rest of the party is back here, the mages or whatnot, they can get sort of lit up. He can go after the squishy targets in the back. So now we have kind of a two-pronged attack. It should be a good fight, but we'll assume the players will prevail. They will slay all of our bandits. But as each dies, they'll dissipate into an eerie green mist and sort of drift deeper into the woods. So there's a nice obvious trail here. So there's off the main road here, there's a little trail leading. It was kind of hidden by bushes here, and then it widens out beyond. And maybe the bushes that's underbrush the bandits put here over the trail. So for the sake of the story, let's say we're following the trail here. So the players can travel along. They can salvage this arbalist if they'd like. They bring it with them. It's probably pretty heavy, but it's a pretty cool thing to have. All right, so bum. As they're working their way here, if they get to make a little passive perception, or maybe if they're being cautious and investigating, see there is a tripwire across the trail. And if they hit the tripwire, we lift up this bush. We have swinging spike trap. Oh, we'll get a spiky surprise right in the thighs. Oof. So it's a nice chance to use disarm traps, get the perception. Working their way past the trap. From here, they'll be able to see a distant warm glow deeper in the forest. It looks like there's a bandit camp ahead. And also, along the road, the players can notice there's drag marks and blood stains sort of going down the road. So clearly, some bodies have been dragged along here. So they could just follow the path as is, or sort of make their way and maybe hide behind this bush to check anything out before they go in there. Perhaps you could walk through, if they wanted, they could come through the woods here, sort of make a slower approach like this, and park over here, trying to make plenty of playable space and plenty of ways to approach the camp, right? So they have some options as they make their way in. So across the campsite, past the campfire and the bedrolls, there's a pillar of rock, and in it is a balefire torch glowing malevolent green. There's swirling energies coalescing around it, definitely necrotic forces at work. And before the PC's very eyes, those green mists from the bandits, they gather and reform, and poof, one by one, poof, the bandits reform, resurrected by the fell magics of the this balefire torch. And their eyes are glowing green for just a moment before it fades. And so draw steel, combat will ensue yet again. Players will come rampaging in. Could be a nice battle through the campsite. We got some fun areas. There's a couple of obstacles, and of course a campfire. You could throw somebody in the campfire. Like, we have a good little combat here, and hopefully again the bandits will be dispatched, and they will dissipate again. And so the gag is the players have got to destroy the balefire torch to stop them from reforming. They'll just keep reforming there over and over again, endless waves, until they destroy it. And once they have shattered this, they can, around the area, will find scattered bones, tons of bones, the remains. Now, one of the things I like to do sometimes I see is I'll add, when the players like investigate or discover thing, I can add bits of dressing. So it helps stop a little of the metagame, right? If I put the bones there, they're going to investigate them right at the gate. This way it lets you sort of discover a thing. Or as they're wandering around, if they don't notice it, you can say, oh, from the corner of your eye, you see a thing. You can drop them in the scene. So we have some bones here. And these are the remains of the merchants and the travelers and the like. So these bandits have been capturing these poor passerbyers on the road and sacrificing them to feed the balefire torch. And perhaps it's tied to a larger campaign, right? There's a sunken tower in the swamp where the magic is coming from, and there are many other groups that are getting possessed by this evil balefire magic. So once the players dispatch the bandits, dealt with the torch, they can check out the camp, and from here they may notice there's a cave in the mountainside over yonder. So of course, some intrepid adventurers will head off to investigate the cave. All right, so when we get into the cave, we're going to lift this off. This is all on an 8x8 terrain tray, so I can fly that off to reveal the cave. I do love reveals at the table. And then we'll pop off the stump lump. Yeah, there. All right, so the cave open. Our players can come wandering in here. And inside, we have, these are all the ill-gotten goods that the bandits gathered. So it's a little treasure hoard for the players. So you get a bunch of fun bits here. All right, and if we follow this path over here, you'll see there's a little tiny hole leading out. And that connects us back to the road. This is where the bandit ambushed from. And of course, you could have if the players decide to go into that hole, they could come into the bandit camp from this side, right? It's just free form. You create a situation, and the players will figure out how they want to approach it. All right, so that's the story of this encounter. Now, let's look at how we built this thing, and we'll use some clean lighting so we can see everything nice and clear. All right, so let's look at this, the road section of this build first. So let's pull a couple of trees out here so it's easier to see. So this is a simple building. We're using the dirt road terrain trays with the grass banks on either side and the grasslands, grass floors, and then peppering in some wilderness accessories to help kind of wild it up a little bit. And then over here, we're using, these are the forest trifecta ledges. Using the forest trifecta ledges to go from our escarpments, from the grass floors up to our escarpments. So that transitions pretty seamlessly, looks pretty smooth all the way along. Boop, bump. And then over here, we're using this is the Dirt Paths transition bank. So it's helping us transition from where we're going from these grass banks here into the dirt paths and then down to the terrain tray. So you get a nice smooth transition there. So over here, let's pull these out so we can see better. And over here, this is just, right, we're just using, these are forest escarpments and the mountain escarpments with the trifecta ledges, just built in line, right? Everything is built out and around them. And we're just building we've got the dirt paths just going in line, nestled right up against these. Works pretty great, nice and smooth. And coming in here, we're using the new magnolia tree and one of the wildlands stump lumps, and then integrating, once again, paths into forest floors and swamp floors. All works pretty smoothly. And the same gags over here, where it's just going, right, these are going right up against the escarpments. So you can build all these paths in line. It's a great way to add a trail, right, a destination, a very delineated path into your wilderness builds. And then these are just very simple. Everything's built in line. I kind of figured out in the back, I was trying to build escarpments and trees, trying to make this feel kind of impassable back here to really kind of guide the players to stay in the kind of the zone that we'd built. So it sort of went very heavy with the trees and rocks back here, and then tried to leave plenty of playable space in the center bit, right? With just a few bushes, a few stump lumps, just enough stuff to make it feel alive and have break up movement in an interesting way, but plenty of room for the minis and let the players get their hands in there and whatnot. And then over here, we can look at the Bandit camp. All right, so for the Bandit encampment area, first in the back section here, we're just using, these are forest floors with trees popped in and some escarpments in the back. It's going to make that sort of sense of kind of impassable wall area in the back. And then on the perimeter, it's just trees and stump lumps, kind of, once again, constrain the area and make it feel like we're deep in the forest. For the actual encampment here, we're leaning heavily on the Dirt Path Advanced Builder pieces. Well, so first of all, this is the camp pack, right? We're using the campfire and the bedrolls. And then this is the mushroom log, which is a little log to sit by the fire on there. And the center, we just have there tons of the little advanced builder pieces for the dirt paths, mixed with some dirt for the open areas or dirt. And then in this corner here, in the LED rock, we're actually using, I showed this in the hands-on video with dirt paths, we're using the curve, the dirt path curve, and then a couple of 3 convexes to make that little patch of dirt because it looked like a really neat spot to put the balefire torch LED rock. So just advanced builder pieces all around, and then right up against the cave mouse piece there. So these dirt path pieces integrate very nicely with the rest of the wildlands bits. So you can make this nice sort of heavily trodden area. Last, let's just look at the cave, how we approach the cave. All right, so for the cave section, I built this upper area it's on an 8x8 terrain tray because I wanted to be able to do the lift off at the table, right? I really like the reveal of being able to lift off a section and show something underneath. It's always fun. It really makes the players feel like they're discovering something. So this whole section is just a bunch of floors and banks built on an 8x8 terrain tray. So I can fly that off. And then underneath, we're just using, right, it's all just escarpments on the outside. Oh, over here, I'll pop this guy off. This is the cave mouth piece from the forest. And then we're just transitioning from that into, it's just caverns pieces, right? Just a few caverns pieces to make a little cave, a little bit of dressing. And that connects really nicely to the escarpment with the hidey hole. It's very fun having, I feel like connecting little tunnels in somehow very satisfying. And this also gave a nice kind of branching approach to how the players explore, right? They could go through this cave first, or they could explore the paths in the back first. So give them some fun options right out of the gate. And that's it. It's pretty generally simple building, just a lot of escarpments, a lot of dirt paths, a lot of forced floors, build everything in line, throw in a bunch of scatter, and you get yourself a scene. So that should give you an idea of one of the many ways you can combine these Dirt Path pieces with the rest of our Wilderness collection to create exciting encounters for your table. If you want to learn more about the Dirt Paths or our Cities collection, take a look at the Cities playlist linked in the description below. And if you want to go deeper, hop into our Discord where we have an awesome community who would love to talk terrain with you. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe, and throw in a comment. It really does help our channel. Thank you so much for joining us on this adventure out in the wilderness with the bandits. And now, it's back to the anvil.